All right, welcome back to another week of the van. And this week we're focusing on all the details. We're going to show you a full van tour.
So this is our, we are almost done van tour because there are still more upgrades to come. There are still more things that we are going to update. But in the meantime, we want to show you the van tour because so many people have been asking, we want to see the van. So let's do it.
So let's check it out.
So we went between three options of choosing either a Mercedes Sprinter, a Ford Transit, or a Ram Promaster. And we went back and forth. All of them have little bits of, you know, pros and cons. The Promaster is the widest of the three options. The Transit is the tallest of the three, but the Sprinter was the longest and it would give us our most amount of space. The Sprinter actually comes in one size bigger than this. It's about 2 feet longer, but we decided that it just wasn't worth it, and we also couldn't find it in a 4x4, so that was really important to us.
And one of the other things about the 170 extended, if you go for those extra 2 feet, all the extra feet are behind the back wheel. So if you're climbing up a hill or going over a bump, your back end is going to be even closer to bottoming out. And we didn't really know it when we were first looking for the van, but we're really happy we went with the normal 170-inch wheelbase because we definitely would have been bottoming that out on some of those roads out west. So for sure. And one of the most important things that we were looking at was Chris is just over 6'1", and we really wanted to make sure that Chris was going to comfortably fit in the van. So the Sprinter, with us putting in the subfloor and putting in a roof, we were going to be able to have him fit, and he fits perfectly with the button of his hat just touching the top of the roof. So we are perfect there. The only other thing that we could have done is gone with the Transit, but we would have lost a little bit of length there. Yeah. Why don't you come on in? Don't mind if I do. So this is the 2019 and newer dash. That's one of the things that really attracted us to it. There's a couple things that we were looking for when we were buying the van. Was we wanted to have bucket seats. You can buy them with a bench. And we also wanted leather seats as well. Since we've got the dog, it's easier to clean. And one big thing for Nicole was she wanted to have heated seats. So we were able to find that in this van. But nice, like it's a really nice steering wheel here. It feels very comfortable to drive. You've got all of your controls, nice big touchscreen here, which is great for things like CarPlay. So you can go ahead and control CarPlay, get Waze up there and everything. And one of the things that we always put in all of our cars is one of these Pro Clips. So if you've never seen one of these, proclipusa.com. We've put one in every one of our cars, and they custom make the mounting bracket depending on what kind of car you have. So you just plug in the year of your car, what type of car it is, and then they'll show you what kind of bracket will fit right onto your dash. I've got one in my F-150, Nicole's got one in her Jeep Wrangler. So it's such a great little mount, keeps the phone right there, we can turn it around. Normally while I'm driving, just out of curiosity, I've always got the solar charger or whatever to see what kind of charge we're getting, or the alternator right up on there. And yeah, no, it's a very comfortable drive. Air conditioning right there. And we got we chose not to go with the headliner shelf because, like, I know some people maybe that are living in their van 24/7 need all the space that they can get, but we've got a ton of storage back there, and we like to be able to stand up here and not have something that's right above our head. So we just decided to opt with the standard shelves that are in here, and they work great for kind of what we're putting up there. A couple of the things that you may not also think come in one of these vans is you've got some of the nice luxuries. The one hilarious one is you've got paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, so if you want to feel like you're on a racetrack, just there you go, you can change your gears on the fly. But it's got rain sensing wipers, which is really nice, so the rain starts coming, they automatically start going. This is kind of the mid-tier line. I know that there's a few classes that are below this, and then there's also one that's above that has even a bigger touchscreen and stuff, but we've found that this basically gives us everything that we're looking for. You can adjust like the seats. You can pull the kind of the leg rests out a little bit further depending on what you like. You've got the arm rests on the side. Emergency brake, power windows, decent sound system, and yeah, little sunglass holder right there too. Ooh. You don't get any of the mirrors though. Nicole was pretty quick to mention that, so it doesn't matter to me. Got a horn.
Does it work?
It normally works, and you're actually seeing a very rare case where our screen is just working just fine right now. We don't have to smack it. It is going in for service soon though. As you guys know, we put a lot of lights on the outside of the van, and what I'm going to be doing is there's some dash switches here that you can see, and there's a few that are not in use, and you can get replacement switches here. And I'm gonna move this one over, and then what we'll have is kind of like forward, right, left, and rear, and then that'll allow you to be able to turn those lights on. In the meantime, we've got our booster pack down here that we just flip on and off whatever we want that light bar to be on. So it's not fully wired up yet, but again, this is a partial van tour.
All right, now it's time to check out the kitchen. One of the most important things about the kitchen was we really wanted to be able to take kind of what we had in the RV and bring it over to the van. So we got the biggest fridge that we possibly could get, I believe. It's a 4.8 cubic feet, 12 volt Dometic fridge with a very small freezer that really can't freeze much at all. But you can get a few ice creams in there, some meat, a little bit, but not a ton. The fridge is great. It has interchangeable shelving, so you can change it. It also has different temperature settings so that you can make it colder or warmer should you need it.
A couple cool things about this fridge, it's got like this automatic vent thing in here, so when you go ahead and close the fridge when you're not using it and you shut it off, you can just leave the latch closed there and it will stay open, let the air out so it doesn't smell up. So that was really cool.
We've got a full tile backsplash. That was one thing we weren't 100% sure on doing, was adding the weight, and just would it hold up on some of the rough roads that we were taking it on. Well,
so far
I think it passed the test. Nothing has moved. It has been really, really strong. We're super happy with it. We installed 2 pot lights underneath the cabinets here. They are totally separate and on their own switch. Nice for little mood lighting, or if you're just waking up and you need to make a quick midnight snack. We have a beautiful undermount sink with running water.
When the water pump's on.
With running water. We also have a Activa water purifier, which pulls all of our water through our 40-gallon water tank and kills 99.999% of bacteria and germs, and it tastes incredible for our drinking water. It's safe for us as well as Kino. We've been super happy with it. We installed a soap pump so that way we don't have our soap flying all around.
And I was really impressed by that water filter, because I kind of thought that the van with the water sitting in the tank and maybe it gets warm down there, that maybe there's going to be a little bit of a taste. Honestly, have not been able, and I'm pretty picky, I have not been able to taste anything coming out of this tap. So it's honestly, it's just like bottled water.
We got custom wood walnut countertops that was done by our incredible friend Taylor. He did these, our drop-in sink. We were going to be able to use them, and we can use them as a cutting board, but we decided that we didn't want to scratch them up. They are starting to scratch a little bit, but that's okay. You can always finish them, put the finishing coat back on,
you can
and make
resand
them
them down and
beautiful.
refinish them.
But they are so easy to clean, and we are super happy with them. Moving on to our drawers. All of our drawers have locking latches on them from Expedition Upfitter, so that when you are driving, they don't open. So you have to pull up and out to get them to open. Just a little bit of a safety feature. One thing we absolutely love is this cutlery drawer. It is literally the entire depth of the kitchen counter. We really wanted to utilize as much space as we could, and it can fit all of the utensils that we need in here, and probably could fit a little bit more. We went with a little bit of a higher countertop. Almost I felt it was a little too high when we first put it in, but it is actually perfect. It gave us a little bit more space. We probably wouldn't have been able to fit the cutlery drawer as well as maybe one of the extra drawers, but it is perfect because it's right at both my height as well as Chris's height, and I've had no issue with it.
Nicole didn't like every little thing that we put into the van until we actually saw it in here for a little while, because as we built it out, we had so much space when we first started, when there was just like wood runners on the ground, and then we put this thing in here and it's like, this thing is so big, and now all of a sudden the space is getting smaller. And how did you feel about this one?
Hated it.
Yeah, she hated it. But now you like it.
I do.
It's functional.
I don't like change, so it always takes me a few days to accept change.
Yeah, and even the bed. The bed, we didn't have the bed in there, and then all of a sudden we put the bed in, it's like,
Don't like it.
yeah, we got the wrong size van. So anyway, just kind of a funny part of our van build.
This is our induction cooktop. It's a 2-burner stove. You have to use induction pots with it. It runs off of AC voltage, so it runs through our 3000 watt inverter that we have. So you just have to flip on the inverter if it's not already on to run it. You can run both burners at the exact same time. And something that we've learned, you cannot be on a slant while you cook, otherwise your pots will fall off.
Because if anyone doesn't know about how induction works, there's actually like, I think there's like magnets in there, and they kind of like create heat because when they contact with the, I think it's magnets, when they contact with the stainless steel pots. And in doing that, it almost creates a slight amount of a vibration. So if you're on a little bit of a slant, your pot's just kind of moving off the thing. So yeah, so you want to be careful about that. But overall, it is a really good cooktop. And in terms of battery usage, what I find is if we were a whole cooking session, if we're gonna kind of like, I don't know if we made hamburger helper, we're real healthy, but a whole cooking session there takes the battery down maybe 8 to 10%. And we've got 600 amp hours of battery. So it is a considerable draw, but because of the size of our battery bank, it's not really too much of an impact.
The only downside I would say about the induction cooktop is it is glass. We had one of our Yeti mugs fall out, cracked the thing. Luckily, it only took out a small thing and it didn't shatter, but something that,
yeah,
you know, we'll probably end up having to replace one day because we'll probably do it again because, you know, after a day of driving, things do fall out.
If you're wondering what this little sensor is here, this right here is a Govey, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's a temperature sensor that we leave in here. It's Wi-Fi, and it connects to our hotspot. And then that way we always know what the temperature is in the van. Especially useful when the when Kino's in here, so we will get notifications if for some reason the temperature were to go over a certain threshold. Because we'll be running the air conditioner, but if for some reason that stopped, this would be one of the ways that we would know that there's a problem in the van and we need to get back. It'll also be useful in the winter, because sometimes maybe if we are in between camping weekends or whatever, and we're running the heater in here or trying to keep it above 0, this will let us know if the temperature is going to go down. So there's lots of different uses, and I think it was like 30 bucks on Amazon.
I think the only thing we haven't covered in the kitchen yet is our cabinets. So we did a cabinet with rattan facing, but Chris, being the practical soul that he is, really wanted me to put in a backing, because otherwise we would see everything that's in all of the cabinets, as well as maybe if we made a hard turn, stuff could potentially fly out. The rattan is not very thick. This is natural cane webbing. We did not dye it, we did not stain it at all. It's literally as is. It was a bit of a pain to get in. We did end up stapling, if you recall, in one of our videos. We stapled everything around and then we put the wood facing on it.
Actually, and we noticed that the rattan on, it's not bad right now, but on really humid days,
it grows. It
actually kind of like bows out a little bit, and that would not be very good if we didn't have that backing on there. So
yeah, and that probably is just, you know, amateur build. I'm sure if a professional did that, it may not grow that way, but it adds character to the van, and we can tell it's our humidity sensor in here.
I think it's because it's so dry that it absorbs all the moisture, and then it kind of lets it go. So it looks fine though when it does it, just something we didn't expect.
So we have 7 cupboards that run all the way down the long side of the van. The first one is used for our dishes. Second one is for our dry food storage. Our third one is for our electrical panel and Nicole's hair dryer. And then the rest are clothes. No clothes right now, but the rest hold all of our clothes. I get 2 and Chris gets 2.
But there's just so much storage in there, and they're all protected by, or they're all clipped on by these clips that are just underneath there. You can kind of see.
The clips are from Expedition Upfitter, and again,
they just lock in.
They lock, so you just have to pull to open, so that when we are driving, we don't have our cabinets rattling around like...
Yeah, this is the only one that we need to put the clip on still.
Because we lost it in the build and found it.
We found it afterwards.
We found it.
But then the other thing that we do need to do these cupboards is we have when we've had them the whole time, is these gas struts that are going to hold the cupboards up at whatever height you want to put them at. So that's one thing that we do need to put on. Again, that's why it's a partial van build tour. Full van tour to come.
Coming next year.
Yeah, whenever it's done.
So we've got this great drop-in wood mount to kind of cover our dirty dishes when we don't want to do the dishes. It also just finishes off the counter. We put in the second counter over here. It is for garbage and cleaning supplies. This is where Kino's food normally goes, treats and oils. This is the big messy cabinet for all of our camera gear.
Yeah, and we do have a power bar back there that we can use to plug stuff in if we want to charge stuff up.
And probably one of my favorite parts of the van, the toilet. This is our Nature's Head composting toilet. I could not have this van without this toilet. This toilet has made my life a lot easier. It splits, so you have your urine goes in the front and it's really easy to empty. It literally is just a clip that comes off, you pick it up, you go put it in a proper receptacle to empty, and then in the back are your number 2s. We use coconut core, everything goes in, you use the shifter handle, it actually ends up composting everything. There is no smell to be had. We have had no issue with smelling anything, and it makes for a really easy day when we are in the backcountry and we're not near the proper bathroom receptacles.
Yeah, and it's got the fan that comes out the side there, so then that vents out underneath the van. It's 12 volts and it just runs all the time, so that's what helps it compost and keeps all the smell outside.
I love it. If you are on the fence about putting a toilet in your van, whether it's a Nature's Head or if it is a porta potty, do it. You will love it.
So hidden behind this wall as well is up for the whole front area, we've got these window shades. They're by who?
The Wonderful.
The Wonderful, yeah. They're awesome. They're custom made for this year and model of the van, and they've got magnets all in the side. So they're perfect. They fit exactly in there. You just go ahead and put them in the whole front. It keeps the heat right out of here. So we find that even when we've got just Kino in the van, we put them up no matter, even if it's just the middle of the day, it keeps the heat from coming in, and it completely blocks out the light. Like if you're outside of the van at night and you have the lights on in here, you can barely see that they're on. We've also got behind here a shade that you can just quickly pull across with this kind of rod up here. And then we purposely left this one off just because it allows us to kind of put our magnets off to the side here. And then that's a great way for privacy if you're using the toilet or whatever. You just slide it across, and it also keeps the heat back here. So
one thing we took into consideration is we got it custom cut around the bottom there so that it would not set the van on fire while it is being heated. We actually find, even for safety, we tuck this into the back of the seat so that it just doesn't, because it seems to catch some of the heat and wants to push it into the cab. We want to take all of the heat into the back of the van. So this is our seating area. If you saw in one of our earlier videos, we built this one 3 times. We ended up lowering them so that, why did we lower them? Well,
we started with them really high because our first thought was we were going to put our toilet underneath that seat. Yep. And then we wanted to make sure that this side was pretty similar in height so that one wasn't like way higher than the other. And then we changed plans on that. And then we lowered it, and then I think we lowered it again.
No, you broke it. You sat on it.
I broke it.
And then. So what I love about the benches is they are also doubled as storage. So in here, right now we have literally just a bunch of stuff: jackets, towels, extra garbage bags. Our Activa water filter lives in here. We have first aid kits. So it is perfect just for kind of random things that we don't quite have a home for. Same on the other side. It is also storage where we keep all of our pop.
And we're going to be putting piano hinges on those so that it's a nice easy open close, but that's one of the things that is still to come.
Yep. We also wanted a space that we could sit down on rainy days, and if we weren't able to eat outside, we could eat inside. So we installed a kitchen table. Another walnut table that Taylor built for us that matches the rest of the set. It closes and is very firm so that it does not pop out while we are driving. It's just a quick, easy pull and fits perfectly. 2 plates in our cups, and is the perfect space to kind of sit back, relax, and have dinner. Then we've got the continuation of the walnut wood to frame off the bed so that you don't see half the mattress. And then we have cubbies over here. The cubbies hold socks, underwear, bug spray, anything you can imagine. It goes right down to where the bed stops, so they're nice and deep. There's 5 all the way across the back, and it is an awesome way to be able to have just a little bit of extra storage in a space that we weren't quite sure what we wanted to do with. I love my decorative wall.
You know this is not the Chris editions. These are definitely the Nicole thing.
Who decorated the van? Wanted to have a little bit of just a little mirror in the van, just so for hair, makeup, anything that we needed. I bought this off of Etsy. It came in. It is fastened with double-sided Velcro. It's like a super strong Velcro. These are my hats that I love. They just sit on walnut hat hangers. So those are fun. They do not stay up while we drive, unfortunately. I wish they did. But it's just nice to have a place to store them, and it kind of fills the wall, which we didn't really know what to do with.
We can staple them to the wall.
Please don't.
So what we got underneath here is a full-size chest freezer. So it's the Dometic CRX chest freezer. It runs on a compressor. You could honestly make this another fridge. I think you can set the temperature anywhere from like 2 degrees for fridge temps all the way to -17. Like everything else in the van, it's smart. It connects to your phone. On the side there's a digital readout that says it's -17 in there right now. And it's awesome. It gives you a ton of space. There's even like a spot underneath here where you can have ice cube trays. And we put ice cream in here, frozen burgers, whatever. So it gives us a ton of freezer space. And if you know that you're not going to need it and you want to save the power, just turn it off. Or if you need a beer fridge and you're going on a kind of fun beer adventure weekend, then just fill it up with beer and put it to 2 degrees and you're golden. So yeah, this has been awesome, especially just because you're always fighting for fridge space in these vans, and this gives you a ton of extra space.
Welcome to my favorite spot in the van. I love this bed. This is a ND Queen RV mattress that we could not have better sleeps on. I kid you not, I would rather sleep in the van every night than go into our house to sleep.
Yeah, all summer you've been complaining about the days that you're sleeping in the house,
yes,
and you'd almost rather just sleep in the van in the driveway.
I know.
You've suggested that we just actually stay in the driveway.
I now refer to this is my home, and Chris lives in our brick and mortar home. I pay property tax here, Chris pays property tax inside.
Yeah.
So this is a queen mattress. It's just shorter than your standard queen, so it's an RV queen. We just got a Rolef Lauren duvet from the Bay, a duvet cover that everyone's been asking me where it's from. I got it from a company called I Love Linen out of Australia. I love this color. We couldn't go with a light color as much as I wanted one because of Kino's dirty feet and my dirty
feet. Yeah, and your dirty feet. You can tell that you just came back from a trip in the van.
I live in this thing.
One of the big debates when we were building out the van was what kind of style of bed do we go for? Because you can go for this upper bed, gives you a ton of garage space down below. It gave us the ability to have this kind of table, which we really liked. Or you can go the different route and then go ahead and have like a convertible bed where you have like a table down there that lowers down, and then you kind of put cushions down and make a bed every night. The problem is, we thought better and knew ourselves. We would not be the kind of people that would want to necessarily convert that bed every day, or if we were doing a long day of driving, the last thing that we would want to do pulling into a campsite is have to set everything back up. So I think we've made the right choice here by going with the permanent bed.
The thing is, you could also go with, a lot of people go with the bed lengthwise. Chris is just too long, and I have slept in a bed that way as well, having it go this way. We're both, I'm 5'8", Chris is 6'1", and it's not comfortable for us, and we believe that having a quality night's sleep was the most important thing to us in the van, even if we lost a little bit of living space. And we also know that we are incredibly lazy people that do not want to make our beds, so a big applause to everybody that if you have the bench to bed conversion that sets it up and tears it down every day, because we couldn't do it.
I think a big part of that is actually also having the 170-inch wheelbase versus the 144.
Absolutely.
If you do go for the 144, then like that's totally fine. I think that probably is a push to do the other style bed. That way it just gives you even more living space. But we were able to manage with a full queen bed there and still manage to have a good amount of living space in front of it. So that's why we went with it. So one of the next best MVPs of the van is the air conditioner. It's honestly awesome. We can run it in fan mode or we can run it in AC mode. and we basically turn it on every night because it's a nice amount of sound, just having the air flowing around you, and then if it's really hot, you get that cool air right on top of you, and it's, I don't know, it's just perfect. It's been great.
I've slept right on the side of the highway, and I have turned this on, and I do not hear the trucks at all. It is kind of a nice way to just drown out any noise around you, white noise, and whether it's the fan or whether you're running the air conditioner, man, having it right over the bed keeps you cool, including Kino. She appreciates it.
I think that's one of the things that I like the most about the van is that it doesn't matter if you're in this beautiful mountaintop location where you're parked and sleeping and there's no sounds out there, or if you're sleeping in the middle of a Mercedes parking lot. It always feels the same once you close the doors, put the window shades on, and turn that AC unit on. You zone out everything outside and you totally forget where you are. You could be in a Walmart parking lot and it will still feel exactly the same in here. So I think all of that combined with the AC keeping all the sounds out is awesome. So we went with a aluminum roof rack. We were actually looking at one that's built by Illuminous in the US. That's one of the ones that we were most interested at first, but then we didn't realize that there's a company called Stoked Adventure Outfitters out west, and you saw that maybe in one of our earlier videos, that makes this amazing roof rack for the Sprinter van. It's very similar, and actually I like this way better, the way that they kind of designed the front. And they've got the light bar that fits right inside there, and it just all works so well together. So a couple of things. One of the reasons for the roof rack was really that we needed to have a spot to put our solar, but then we also love the idea of being able to go up there. You get to put stuff up there. If we're going on a trip, we can throw our floaty mat thing up there and strap it down, and then when we get there we can set our chairs up there and actually just relax and get a better view. So we went with the it's called the Yukon rack, right?
Yeah.
So it's, then fitting because we love the Yukon, but it's the Yukon rack. So we went with these side floodlights in addition to the big 50-inch 3-row light bar that we did on the front. These side floodlights, there's 2 on every side, one at the front, one at the back, two that face rearward,
backwards.
I can't say talk today. Rearwards.
There's your blooper.
Rear words.
There's your blooper.
It goes backwards.
One more time.
Rearward. Not even gonna attempt it.
You gotta do it.
So we've got 2 floodlights per side. Those are all going to be controlled individually. They're not wired up yet, so that will come in a later time, but we do have the front light bar kind of half working with that booster pack. On the side here, we went with the aluminum ladder. Everything is built with aluminum. It's all welded together by Lorenzo over at Stoked AO. He's an amazing welder. And then everything gets powder coated, so that's why it's a nice black finish here. The ladder has these nice grip pieces here, so it doesn't matter if you're going up here in the winter to clear snow off, or if you're going up here just with bare feet, it's all fine. It's nice and easy to grip, and you just climb right on up.
Yep.
So up here on the roof, we've got our MaxxAir Fan. Nice thing about the MaxxAir Fan is you can actually keep it open while you drive. It's sturdy enough for that, and also while it rains. So if it's raining, right now it's in the open state. The rainwater is not going to get underneath there, so that works really well. And then we've got all of our solar here. So kind of in the middle here, we've got about 6 feet of walking space, great spot for the chairs, and then everything up front here, which in front of the MaxxAir Fan, it's almost useless space anyways. We've got our 200-watt solar panel at the front, and on the sides, we've got 100 watts each on both sides. The front one's from a company called Canadian Energy, and then the side ones are just Renogy solar panels. You get them on Amazon. I was pretty impressed. It was like $100 Canadian per panel. I thought they were going to be way more expensive than that. So that works really well. At the back side here, we've got our Dometic AC 3000 unit. So it fits right in there. And when we ordered this roof rack, we just had to give him all the dimensions, and he cut it to size so that he basically builds these things all custom. So all of these measurements, the holes for the MaxxAir Fan, the AC, were cut to size. And the nice thing is our AC actually was slightly off-centered, so I made sure that we were able to give the exact measurements. You wouldn't really be able to see it, but it was, and he was able to make sure that it fit well. Also from Stoked AO are these aluminum footsteps. They're called Nerf bars, and they really help getting in and out of the 4x4 Sprinter, because this 4x4 Sprinter sits a little bit higher, and it's a nice second step. Really makes it 1, 2, 3 steps to get into the van, so it's an awesome addition. So we put a security system in our van. It's a ring security system, one of the ones that you just put in your house. On all of the doors, there's door contacts, and so every door, like the front passenger, driver door, the sliding door, and even the rear doors all have door contacts so that we know whether any of these doors open. We can get notifications every single time a door opens, or only when we're away we can get notifications. But there's a stay mode and away mode. Stay means something that we put on when we're sleeping. That way if any doors open, the alarm would go off right away. And away mode is more when we're like leaving the van somewhere, maybe Kino's in it or maybe Kino's not in it, and we want to know the second a door opens if it's not us. And when we open a door, we get like 45 seconds to type in our code. So it's really cool. The other thing that it does allow us to do is that we have a camera inside, and we only want the camera on when it's in away mode, meaning we're not in the van. So that's what happens as soon as I put it in away mode. Camera turns on, we can check in on Kino. We also see any kind of motion alerts, so if someone was in here, we'd immediately get a notification on our phone and we'd be able to see who that person is. So we put a MaxxAir fan in the front with our air conditioner in the back. Some people might put two MaxxAir fans, but we put it here because we obviously have that AC unit back there. But it's great. It's got different settings for, I know you can get the ones with the remotes. We haven't really found a need for it, but basically we've got the different settings down and up. We can choose, I think, 10 different speeds for the fan. You can either choose to blow in or out, or if you have the vent closed, you can just use it as a ceiling fan. And then there's also a setting here to hold to set to 78 degrees. I guess if it's hotter than 78, the fan turns on or something, but we haven't really used that yet. It works really well when you have the back windows open and the air is being sucked through there and blown out through here. It really creates a nice cross breeze through here. And then you're supposed to actually use this, and we have been, to kind of reduce moisture in the van. So no matter what time of year, if you're running the heat in here or whatever, you're supposed to leave the fan vent open a little bit, and that'll help get the moisture out of here so that it doesn't build up behind your walls, on the window dash up front and everything, and then possibly cause mold. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. Overall, it's been an awesome little device, and it runs on almost no power, so we can run it all day and the batteries are hardly impacted.
Alright, so we have this beautiful bug screen from Rolef, which is a company based out of Quebec, Canada. It is custom fit to the Sprinter van. It has just two zippers. You're gonna have to extend that one.
I'll do it from this side.
And then literally it is a magnet that just closes perfectly, latches, and then you are totally sealed in from the bugs, which is incredible. So you can leave on cool nights like this. You can leave the door open, allow for a breeze.
So one of the more unique things that we did with the van, and I hadn't really seen it in many other videos, and other van builds, I've seen people kind of put projectors that they put on like the table, maybe one other time we saw it in the roof, but we actually wired everything through the walls. So our HDMI cables, our power, everything is going through the walls, and our projector sits right up here. It's got some nice Harman Kardon speakers built into it, so the audio actually is really good even when we're at the back of the van watching a movie. So we'll go ahead and I can turn that on. And so while that's turning on, we've got our nice screen here. It's just like it is a projector screen. I think it's like 50 inches or something. It's a little wrinkly right now, but you don't really notice it when it's on up there. And you'll see in this clip here, I've got like a nice steamer. If it's really bad, we can just put it on there. So this projector screen here, just kind of what we do is we just kind of clip it behind this cabinet here. And I've got some magnets that I keep right up here. So there's our beautiful TV screen. It's a little wrinkly, but that's okay. So basically we've got this remote here. I can just go ahead and turn the projector on. And then what we do, we'll wait for it to, yeah, it's starting up. We'll wait for it to turn off. And we get a nice big 50-ish inch TV inside this fan. We've got an HDMI port down on the ground there that we just plug into like an iPad or whatever, and then we can stream. It is a smart projector, so technically it is, and it's connected to our Wi-Fi, so technically you could go ahead and choose Netflix and just kind of watch it on there, but we typically download stuff so that we have it on the road because we never know what kind of cell service we're going to have. So you can see up here, you can just go ahead and choose Netflix and everything. Screen mirroring, you can even stream it from your phone, or if you've got, you can stream music over Bluetooth, so there's all kinds of stuff that you can do on here. Honestly, awesome projector. It's made by ViewSonic, and it's got some great speakers built into it. Well, that's a wrap of our van tour. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know you guys probably saw a lot of this from the van build videos. If you haven't, if you're new to the channel, then you can go check those out. You can see how we put all this together. It's not the end, because there's still lots that we need to do, whether it's the gas struts, whether it's solar up on the roof, or the list is still pretty long. So
there might be some new tires coming, maybe another window or two. So there's lots to come. We'll share the full van tour when we know we are 100% done the van. But for now, we are enjoying it at 90% complete, and I could not be happier. There is not a single thing I would change in the van.
Yeah, I think we did a really good job pushing to get this entire build pretty much 90% complete, as you said, in a couple months. I know many people will go ahead and just get it insulated and framed, and then they will take it out for a summer. So I'm happy that we at least got it to this state. It's totally functionable, and then there's just little tweaks that we're going to make along the way. So that'll always be going on, I'm sure.
So if there's anything that you would love to know about this van that we did not share in this video, please leave it in the comments below, and we will make sure to cover that in the full van tour when we are totally done everything, and we will walk you through every step. So we will see you next week. Maybe we'll be back to building, checking a few of those things off the list. If you are not already subscribed to our channel, we would love it if you could. It helps us grow so much. We know that a ton of you that are watching these videos are not, oh my god, are not subscribed to the channel. Leave us a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye!